feeling in my soul something, something Cody Rhodes. That music starts playing. And we're like, okay, it's going to be simple. He's going to come out, I love you, man. We're going to wrestle. And, he comes right out and he says, wait, hold on now. He says, I respect the hell out of you. They know it's going to be a throwdown. Cody shakes Cena's hand, right? And then all of a sudden, we get the whole, Rocky comes out, the music comes out, and we're like, oh, here's my reaction was, is this stupid thing with some soul again?
Don't forget
Ricky?
Travis Scott.
Travis, what the hell was he doing
first. Can I just say something? The entire time I thought that was ASAP Rocky. They didn't do a really good job right there. But Travis, and there's a reason as to why Travis Scott was there. And I am so sick and tired of people not liking the fact that Travis Scott was there. There is a whole reason, okay? For people who are over the age of 30 would understand the reason as to why Travis Scott was there. And it wasn't like just a celebrity grab. It was a celebrity grab, but it was a reason as to why it was a celebrity grab. Okay, you needed a black man there to fill the job. Point I'm going with this is this. So he comes out there and Rocky comes out and this is what ASAP Rocky, not ASAP. See, it was Travis Scott. I wrote ASAP Rocky in the notes. My notes actually say ASAP Rocky. So we have all of a sudden Travis Scott comes out along with The Rock and they start circling Cody Rhodes, like vultures. And you're staring at him. And this is when Travis Scott has a sage. I think it's a blunt, but maybe it's sage. And he starts just waving it all over. I don't understand that reference. If someone does, help me.
We too old
so
for
they
that stuff.
circle him. I don't know. And then, of course, Cody. He's just looking. And he's like, it's about to go, right? And then The Rock, with his big old steroid meaty hands that can't act worth two shit, grabs his face, grabs Cody Rhodes' face. And, Cody Rhodes, he has this moment with him, and he just looks him in the eyes, and with my note says, he says, this is the moment. I will open my arms, and you will come to me. You will embrace me as your brother. And I will embrace you as my champion. I don't know who did the writing, but you deserve a Razzie. You suck. Okay. Then it says, I want it all, Cody. And I'm like, oh, this is a different type of show. It's getting a little R-rated. I said, I want your mind. I want your soul. Who writes like this? God. It's Brian Gertzowitz, by the way, who writes like this. And so I want your soul, and God have mercy. I need your soul. This is becoming a naughty little tale. And it says, if the answer is yes, and the American nightmare will live forever. Tonight, the dream dies again if your answer is no. And everyone's just like, oh. I think the audience kind of like cheered, but they died inside because this was so wasteful, right?
It's so corny.
Did you like this part? It was corny. It was poorly written. It was like, is there like a little sexual undertone? I don't know who wrote. I think The Rock is writing his own scripts.
Yeah, whoever
I'm
wrote
not
it,
even gonna.
the name rhymes with Brain Bronson.
Good Lord. Good Lord. But yeah, this is exactly why. It's giving me, this entire thing was giving me Black Adam vibes all over again. And I'm like, this is why you got kicked out of DC Studios. You're trying to do this mutiny, this coup. It's not working. You can't act. You can't recite these words. It's really weird kind of erotic little thing that's going on with the little sexual undertones. Why are you grabbing that man's face like that? I don't care who you are. If your boss grabs your face like that, I'm calling HR. Call HR.
Vince should have been called a lot of times before that thing.
See, do you think he got that from Vince?
Yeah, I believe you learned plenty from Vince.
Because remember, he raised that boy. Not literally, but he kind of raised him. And you could see the behaviors and the attitudes across each other. Anyway, So then after that, then all of a sudden, we're waiting for Cody's answer, right? And he's saying, I want it all, Rock. And we're like, oh. But he delivers the line like he's dead inside, which is weird because Cody, I think, can act a little bit. He did some Arrow, which is not a really good indication because Arrow was a terrible show and Stephen Amell can't act, but he's a little bit better than Stephen Amell. So he was like, I want it all, Rock. My soul is no longer belongs to me. And I'm like, this is some weird voodoo stuff. I'm like, this is the Hollywood satanic cult. This is the reason as to why The Rock has made $80 million per movie. This is the only reason why he's a Hollywood actor. He's just regurgitating what he gets inside those weird rituals they have to do in Hollywood. Anyway, so he says, you know what? He says, my soul no longer belongs to me. You know why? Because I gave my soul to the ring and to the people. And then he says, go F yourself. And the crowd is crazy. I don't think I've ever heard Cody Rhodes curse. At least not in WWE. Maybe AEW?
I've heard
I'm not even sure AEW.
Yeah, AEW.
You heard him curse?
Yeah.
Yeah, AEW I think he cursed. But WWE, I don't think so. Because he wasn't
he
was
has, but they
wrestler.
censored it out. Like when was it last year when they were doing that whole like press conference, which wasn't a press conference, and it was Roman Reigns saying, "Oh, I'm going to face my cousin, The Rock." Then you had Cody comes out and he says, "What is this bullshit?" And the crowd went nuts.
That's not a curse.
But that's not an F-bomb. This is different. And they didn't censor it out either. Which I thought.
And they didn't censor it to show you the impact. Like my soul
F-bomb
is
a
mine.
bigger deal.
Yes.
The F-bomb is and you see, I just want to say this really quick, and I don't mean to compare anything, but on that other show, they cursing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have any impact anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But when you use it so sparingly, because Triple H talked about this months ago when they signed the deal with Netflix, because everybody was like, oh, well, we're going back to the Attitude Era. We're going to just see boobies and cursing all the time. He was like, no, we might use it, but it'll just be once in a while. And I think if you sprinkle it like they sprinkled this, it has such a bigger impact. So this is why I really appreciated that F-bomb there, because it was good. And then all of a sudden, Travis Scott starts saging the entire ring and saging Cody.
Sorry, by the way, when he dropped that F-bomb, did anybody get flashbacks of the Edge Christian feud with AEW for a moment there? Because that's how I felt when he gave him that hug and he just went on the mic and he said it.
Oh, Christian, yeah. It was so great.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Sorry, go on with
okay.
ASAP
So
Rocky.
then, this is weird because Travis Scott starts saging. The cameraman, which you all know was there at rehearsals, he leaves the ring. And I'm like, well, why is he leaving? What's he doing? Is something about to happen? And this is when Cena starts laughing. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's really into this. You know, and he's like, yay, Cody, woo, right? And he's all cheering and he's happy. And then all of a sudden, Cena hugs Cody, as we all know, that good old hug, right? And they were like, oh, he's proud of him. He stood up to the guy, right? And we all know Cena, the good guy, he stood up to many a people. He had to say no many a times. He kept his soul, right? And even though he didn't make it to the top always, he still had his soul intact. And that cameraman, why is he gone now? That was weird. And he goes to embrace him, and we're all happy. And then something weird starts to happen.
That face. Oh.
That sold it.
Why is he making a face like that? That's a weird face to make, right? Maybe he's sad inside, right?
Oh no.
Because he knows what it's like to have to fight back and to kind of lose yourself, and that means that Cody's gonna get beat up clearly by The Rock, right?
Did not feel
so
that
he makes that face because it's like, Clearly, that's the issue. He feels for him. But then all of a sudden, during that hug, he kicks him in the hoo-ha. He kicks him in the balls. Clearly he slipped, because why would he kick good old Cody in the balls? He tripped and his foot just happened to get lodged up in there. And this was a moment that I've never seen before, because after he accidentally clearly kicked him, he starts to just attack him.
You know
That's
what I'm
weird.
just picturing right
Even
now?
attack?
I'm picturing Triple H and Gorilla right now. He's like looking at Cena, just give him the low blow, and Triple H is like, "That's not in the script. What's going on over there?"
But I skipped a part.
He
I
picked
skipped
up
the
the
part.
watch and he tried to
He
give
picked
it
up
back to him.
He picked up the watch because he clearly tripped into him, right? So
Yeah.
so before the trippation, when he's doing this, right? Clearly, he's just so angry. He's not thinking right, because his eyes are looking like at Dwayne, like, I'm gonna kill you. That's the only thing that happened, right? And in the midst of trying to get to Dwayne, he tripped and kicked him in the balls. That's the only way to explain it. But then for some strange reason, Dwayne's just standing there and he goes this, not this, not this. He does this. And I'm like, why is he referencing Bad Blood? You don't remember that pay-per-view. That's odd, right? And I swear to Black Jesus, it felt like something out of the Manchurian Candidate, where it was like,
So
clearly this was like
it's all
a
just a
Bucky
misunderstanding.
situation. Huh?
It's all just a misunderstanding.
It's a misunderstanding. I think that, there were some code words or something that was accidentally, I can't get rid of the picture, that was accidentally spoken, that for some reason only John Cena can hear. And he is reenacting his favorite movie, Civil War. And he always wanted just to play the Bucky role, where, Bucky hears these words and he just snaps, because it clearly makes no sense as to why, after he kicked him, he tried to give him the watch, but then he keeps hitting him again. And then all of a sudden, brass knuckles just appear out of nowhere, right? And then a mic just appears and he's flailing on him. So he must have just seen Brave New World. And he was like, remember that scene with Isaiah? And Isaiah flipped on everybody in the White House? He just was like, I'm going back into my acting days and I'm going to pretend to be Isaiah, because he starts beating him with the brass knuckles, with the belt, with the mic, and then he holds up the belt. And I'm like, why is he holding up the belt? Because when he accidentally tripped and kicked Cody, he wanted to make sure, hey, this is his belt. So he wanted to give it back to him. That's the only reason why. And then, Cole, not understanding that this has just been one big misunderstanding, Michael Cole starts cursing, which I've never heard Michael Cole curse in my entire life on any program of WWE's history. So I'm just like, clearly there's just, the script was switched. Actors have PTSD. Something's just wrong. We have to help poor little John Cena. And then why is all of a sudden Cody doesn't have a shirt on? That's a misunderstanding, because when he got kicked in the balls, he got really hot. So we had to take off the shirt. So we got to rip off the shirt to give him the CPR to get the oxygen starts flowing again. Because that's the only reason why that would make any sense. And then Rock, for some strange reason, starts beating Cody with his belt. And it's not just a belt, it's a belt that says Cody's soul on it,
And the day
with
his
his
dad
blood
died.
on it, and the
Yeah.
day his daddy died. And then Travis Scott just starts saging everything again. This was a moment in time that I think our generation will live. This is our Hogan moment.
Hogan
This is our
NWO.
this is Bash at the Beach. I remember the exact moment of Bash at the Beach. I was at my grandfather's house. We was watching the pay-per-view together. And clearly, again, it was another misunderstanding because Hogan started attacking the wrong man when he came in. And those wrestlers have PTSD and CTE and steroids, and things just gets a little bit jibble jobbled. So clearly it was a misunderstanding. What are your thoughts? Because it didn't make any sense.
Hogan saw the guy was choking, so he was just trying to clear up his throat with the leg drop. That's all it was. And then everyone starts
That's all
throwing
it
chairs
was.
at him.
And then Hogan just wanted to do a wardrobe change afterwards. So he was going through his goth phase.
Goth face.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, we finally got heel Cena after 21 years and 5,000 days. We got heel Cena, and it was the most unexpected moment for me that I have ever seen in my life. And it took me a while to register what was going on because I just literally thought it was a misunderstanding. But this deadpan look that he gave him was literally something. I'm convinced that he was brainwashed.
By the way, the internet, I don't know how the hell these people do these things so quickly. The internet never fails. Because as soon as the event ended, everybody's on Twitter or whatever social media you use, and immediately one of the first few posts I see is that picture of John Cena when he's hugging him and that frown that he's making, and somebody put Chris Benoit's theme song behind that picture.
Oh.
I thought it was the most perfect thing you could possibly post.
Oh my God.
It was hilarious.
God.
But yeah. Oh my God, so perfect. Yes,
That's an awesome visual.
But this was our Bash at the
Ricardo,
Beach.
If you wanted to go first.
Somebody speak.
Did you want to go first?
I'll go. Okay, so yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned Bash at the Beach because there was already discussions online about was this John Cena heel turn the greatest heel turn of all time? And I think that's one of those things where it's it depends on how you quantify that. I feel regardless of how we feel about Hogan and his politics and all that crap, his heel turn was the most impactful. It changed the wrestling industry. You had the NWO, which led to stuff like DX and the Bullet Club and all that other stuff. It changed the industry forever. And it was done at a time where Hogan was my age. He was 42. And Cena's 47. That's crazy. When you think about that, it took Cena longer to do this turn than it did with Hogan, because Hulkamania started in 1984. 12 years from the birth of Hulkamania to when it died. Cena's face run was longer. It was 20 years, 21 years or whatever, 21 years. And it's as I said to you guys earlier, I thought about the idea of maybe Cena turning and being the corporate champion for The Rock, whatever. But it's this is his retirement run. I think it's just going to be a love fest. There's not enough time to do it. If he retired next year, sure, but not this year. I just feel like they wouldn't give it the proper time it needs. So I kind of just brushed that off. Now with everything that was going down, in the back of my mind, I'm like, they're not going to turn Cena heel now. It's but Cena's in the corner there. Anytime the wrestler's in the corner and the other guy's got their back, I got PTSD from this. I'm expecting the worst. I'm like, look out for Cena for a second here. But then, the verbal exchange between Cody and The Rock, and Cody telling The Rock to go F himself. I was like, okay, I wonder what The Rock's going to do. I wonder if he's going to attack him, or if someone's going to come out from under the ring and attack, you know, the bloodline or something like that. I was kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. But then Cena goes and daps him up and gives him a hug, and the gears start moving a bit. I'm like, I'm not sure yet. But then I saw the face change. I was like, it's happening. Oh my God. And then they show Rock and he goes like this. Oh fuck, it's happening. It's actually happening. And then and like, so even before he kicks him in the nuts, I knew what was about to happen. I knew it. And but you needed that kick in the nuts for that confirmation. Like, yes, you saw correctly. This is a heel turn. And I was just marking out, because it's like, we finally he's giving us one last gift before he retires. He's giving us this heel turn that was denied us for so long. Now, to go back to earlier where everyone talking about how we love Cena and everything, I think it helps that he didn't have a reign of terror the last 10 years, because he was more part-time at that point. He was doing this Hollywood thing. He wasn't constantly in the main event scene, so you weren't getting your favorite up-and-comers getting sabotaged by Cena. You weren't getting like with the Nexus and how they got buried by him and all that. You weren't getting Punk kicked down. You weren't getting R-Truth losing a match when he was getting pushed to the top. You weren't getting Mark Henry losing to Cena. You weren't getting any of that stuff in the last 10 years, because Cena was kind of part-time. He's a nostalgia act. So it's easier to sit back and appreciate what he brings to the table when it's not coming at the cost of the guys who are now main eventing and doing all the stuff they got to do. He's not in the way. So you can appreciate it more. And that's what makes this more diabolical, because now he's inserting himself back into the main event. He's doing like what we didn't like when Batista did that, when Batista came back and he won the Rumble and he was going to main event WrestleMania. And The Rock, when people were complaining about The Rock taking the belt off Punk in 2013, when Punk had that 400-day reign and everything like that, and everyone thought for sure he'd main event. All that stuff. Cena's doing that now, and it's excellent. And I think it's like, because we've been waiting for that. We've been waiting, and I feel like Cody versus Cena, when we first heard in the dirt sheets that was going to happen, I'm like, I don't know about this, man. I wanted Cena against Gunther. That was, Cena as the babyface underdog against the big up-and-coming villain, and that could go either way. I thought that would be a compelling thing, and who knows, maybe it could still happen later on, but Cody versus Cena, I felt like, okay, this is just some cheesy babyface versus cheesy babyface. There's not enough juice to this, but now you've got it, because now you've protected Cody from getting booed the same way that The Rock got booed against Hogan at WrestleMania. You protected Cody from that because Cena's the heel. People will still cheer Cena, part of it for nostalgia, for him to get the record and everything like that. But he has a defined role. He's clearly the heel, and I'm really interested to see how he ups the ante with that, because he's like, it's almost like he's got to remind people, like, this is not the Cena that you knew, But man, there was another point I was gonna make. Another point I was gonna make. I hate when I lose my track of thought on these.
I gotta write stuff down because I'll lose my thought too.
It was definitely a point I was gonna make about Cena. Yes, the gesture by Mr. Dwayne. It didn't occur to me at the time. It was what Survivor Series, was it, when Cody and Roman tagged up against the Bloodline and they won, and then at the end, Bad Blood. It was that Bad Blood, and Rock comes out And it's like, okay, why are you here? And then he just looks and he goes 1, 2, 3, and then does this. And you don't think anything of it because the camera's focusing on Roman at this time. Yes.
Nice.
The camera's focusing on Roman when he does that. And so you're thinking like, this is some bloodline business, right? But when you look at it again, the way he does the 3 is like the way Cena does the 3, right? And now it's kind of like, well, maybe Cena was always the plan here. I mean, I don't know necessarily that's the case. I'm very curious to hear what Cena's motivation is, because when you think about it, right? He won the chamber match, so he already has his ticket booked to the main event, WrestleMania. So what incentive is there for him to align with The Rock, to throw away all his hustle, oil, and respect out the window? Like, where's the incentive there? Like, he's already in Hollywood. He's already doing stuff. How much more higher can he get? It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But for shock factor, this was excellent. And it's something that was very, very much needed, because I was getting bored of this WrestleMania build up until this show, up until Jade sent Naomi to the Shadow Realm, and then up until Cena did that thing and turned heel. It's really amazing. Like when wrestling's good, it's really, really, really good. And I feel that. Oh yeah, one more thing, and then I'll get to you guys. Toronto, the symbolism of Toronto. Cena was in Toronto when he announced that he was going to go on his retirement thing. That was in a show in Toronto last year.
Mm.
And so it's interesting that this heel turn happens in Toronto.
Mm.
You know, and like it's just like, whether that was intentional or not, it's fascinating to me. But yeah, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on all this.
All right, so first of all, I gotta apologize to Triple H himself. He made a comment on social media, or I think it was, maybe it was in person, but I saw it on social media, and he pretty much says the same comment that he says in every freaking pay-per-view, is that this something will happen that will be industry changing. And I left a comment and I said, you mean the bullshit comment that you say every single pay-per-view? Like, this hype is done and over with. Stop saying that. It's so stupid and annoying at this point. Like, shut up. Like just go sell your stuff, that, you know, and go be the businessman that you are. But like, this is not the hype you think it is. And you know, and we go through the pay-per-view, and I am so sorry, Triple H. Like, this is industry changing. This is huge. This was a huge big deal. Now, mind you, like, my wife, she's not a huge wrestling fan, but she'll watch with me every now and then, and she's watching the tail end of the male elimination chamber match with me, and we're watching Cody talk and The Rock talk and all this and that. And when you get that frown from Cena when he's hugging Cody, I'm laying down on the couch with her, and I immediately just go, oh my God, it's happening. Oh my God, it's happening. And she's like, what? And I'm just like, we're getting heel Cena. Oh my God. Like, I had to explain to her how big of a deal that was. And and like, I'm freaking out about it. And that was such an emotional moment. And I think it was so just well done, because like, I was expecting the cookie cutter thing of just, okay, we're gonna get corporate Cody, he's gonna turn heel, he's gonna hit smack the belt on Cena or something, because like you mentioned before, Ricardo, like, if we have a babyface versus babyface, it's okay, but it's not like what you should really do to cause tension in a match. So that's what I was expecting. And then when we get the "Hey Rock, F you," I was just like, oh, so all this is for nothing. Okay. But then I started to notice while this dialogue is going on, like, why is Cena still in the ring? Cena's still just standing there. Like, is he just waiting to give his props to Cody? Is he gonna say a speech afterwards? Like, I did notice that Cena was lingering around for some reason, but I never thought that that was gonna happen. That he was pulling. What is that? That's a wrong. Cena comes in and low blows Dana. That was good. But it was just so well done. Yeah, I expected it to just be the Cody thing. But yeah, that was unexpected, and the shock value was perfect. I mentioned also that it was very much equivalent to the shock value of when Hogan went heel, and he went NWO and stuff. And it was also that shock value kind of when like Taker lost his streak. Like, it just happened so suddenly and so surprisingly, like, unexpected. And sure, there was some signs, but those can easily be overlooked. No, not for Undertaker. I mean, for Cena, like, there were some signs for that, sure, but those could easily have been overlooked. But yeah, another thing was you mentioned, like, why is Cena doing this, like, as a heel now when he has the world, he has everything. And I really think his perfect heel excuse is just that it guarantees him his 17th title win, because he has The Rock behind him. He has The Rock in his corner. Like, it's kind of like that we're getting corporate Cena pretty much. It pretty much is like, I have the most powerful person in the company right now in my corner to guarantee that I win these matches, that I look good for my retirement, and that I win that title match and I hold on to it. So I think that's his kayfabe reason, which works well too. It's a perfect reason to go heel. Go ahead.
Thank you. You reminded me of something else that I wanted to mention with
Mm-hmm.
that, the whole corporate stuff. After watching the post-show press conference and everything, I went back on Peacock and I fired up WrestleMania 17 to see the end of Austin versus The Rock. I don't know if you remember how that ended, with Austin selling out to Vince McMahon because he was desperate to get that championship. He sold his soul to the devil to do that, and he did it against The Rock. So if anyone knows what that looks like, it would be The Rock himself. So he got Cena, who he himself was the face of the company for so long, to sell out to get what he wants. And I think it's so cool, kind of that parallel there. And one funny thing is, like, seeing, the aftermath of that match, Austin and Rock, there was one point where Austin takes the belt and smashes it on The Rock's face, similar to what Cena did to Cody here. Like, that was probably unintentional, parallel wise, but I found that fascinating. And in general, like, I just love these heel turns, man. Like, how you get that from the crowd when they realize what's about to happen. It's such an incredible thing. And the thing with the Undertaker, I felt, was you didn't have time to build up to that, because everyone was sure that Taker was kicking out at 3, except he didn't. And then you heard the bell ring, and everyone's like, "What?"
They were stunned. They weren't even shocked. They were stunned.
Well, people didn't react until the next match after. During that match, they started reacting. Because remember, that wasn't it wasn't like the end of the show. It was the main event. And people started reacting to the streak during the main event match. Because they started randomly booing, and they didn't get that. That's how people, it just didn't click right away. I thought that was poorly executed.
Oh, no.
But,
So I think you have it mixed up. I think you might have when Roman beat Undertaker in Orlando in 2017, they booed the hell out of that because they didn't want Roman to beat Undertaker, and they thought that was going to be how Undertaker retires, and like, oh, this is bullshit. We don't want to see that. What it was it was WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans the year before. Brock Lesnar wins, and you don't hear Brock Lesnar's theme. It's just quiet, and they announced Brock Lesnar's the winner. Everyone's in shock. Everyone's looking around, stunned. Then they show up. What was it, 21-1 or something like that? And that's when it really dawned on people, like, this is official. Like that. I'll never forget that. Like I was watching that with Rich, live, and I remember he just got up and he said, "Holy shit!" And I was like, I looked at him like, what did that just happen? Like that was it was an instant. You didn't have time to process what was about to happen because it just happened. I felt like the Sting with Cena was like, oh shit, like you had the little bit of that build up, and you can hear the crowd like realizing it once they did that close up of Cena looking all robotic. And then when Rock going like this, everyone knew what that meant.
You can hear the crowd at that point.
That they got loud once they saw that. Oh my God, it's him. Like stuff like that is so awesome when they do it right. Like, yeah. I'm sorry I interrupted you there.
No, you're good. And I was actually just pretty much done because I only had one other point to make, and I think what hurts the most about Cena going heel is my heart is broken now because R-Truth had posted on social media, "Why Cena? why John?" There you go. That I saw that tweet today. And I had showed that to my wife also because she knows how R-Truth is the biggest John Cena fan, and I was just like, I feel my heart is broken right now because this is how Ron the Truth Killings is feeling right now. So, and that's pretty much it. Those are my thoughts.
Remember, that is R-Truth's childhood hero.
Yeah. Yes.
He dressed up that's his childhood hero. So he's currently going through it. Ric Flair even reacted and is like going through it as well.
Oh man.
So it's taken a moment for people to like understand what's happening and they're reacting. But for me, I thought this was absolutely phenomenal. And I'm more upset at the fact because no one paid attention. And The Rock was telling us the entire time. It wasn't, we thought it was just like, some kind of simple thing. Look at the 2 and the 3, right? And he's saying, basically, don't worry, I have someone in my corner who's going to get you. And we all know that he does this all the time, but no one put it together. Who would put together that it would be John Cena? And it was just done just so well. And I have to give, Dwayne Johnson his credit. I'm not sure that is entirely him. I know he likes to take credit for everything that goes right, but doesn't take credit for anything that goes wrong. But so 10% congratulations to him, which is a lot to say to me because I cannot stand that man. But this was so well executed and it leaves so many doors and questions open. And it's just like, we we waited so long and for it to finally happen, it's that weird. You would think we would be like really happy, but there's so many mixed feelings behind it because it's like good old boy John Cena. He's finally turned heel. And so there's just so many questions that, this raises. But I wanted to say something that was really interesting about what didn't happen. WrestleMania 40, when Cody Rhodes won, he finally won, right? And remember, he didn't do it on himself. He didn't do it by himself. He had the whole company there. The entire company helped to make sure that he went. Even Seth Rollins, played the part, put on the Shield clothes to kind of give whatchamaface Roman Reigns that PTSD and immediately attack him with the chair. Everyone came in and they did their part and it was wonderful. Not a single person came out to help Cody. No one. Not even Jay, Jimmy, not even Seth. This is the man that, we want. You got rid of our terror. We're so happy we no longer have to live under the reigns of Roman Reigns anymore. You deserve this win. The man is literally bleeding. He's being beaten to death with his soul, with his daddy's death date. That's cold. And not a single person said, this is wrong, let me stop.
Yeah.
Why didn't no one help him? Not a single person help him. Is there a reason as to why you think that?
It's called plot armor.
Yeah.
Gold armor?
Plot armor.
And it's also wrestling logic where the rules only apply when it's convenient.
Yeah.
And people will come out when it's convenient, such as security coming out and stopping a certain punt from happening when they just laid back and let everything else happen before that.
Mm-hmm.
Boo. You guys suck. So the biggest question kind of is this. Can Cena be redeemed? Is this just a Manchurian candidate kind of situation? Is he, does he, are we going to have a Bucky? Because look, we have the three, which, we originally thought that this was like, oh, it's just a 3 count. Maybe it's like some souls. But what was interesting is that we have two. We have the number 2, right? And then we have the 3 that we know represents John Cena. Who's the other person?
I don't know.
Is it Roman?
Could be Roman. Could be Punk.
Jacob. Maybe Jacob Fatu.
Fatu?
Because, it's really interesting, as The Rock did say, we plant the seeds. Y'all just not paying attention. Who was really, really cozy in that ring with him? It wasn't Logan. It sure was not Drew. Seth was being screaming everyone to die. But who was really chummy with Cena?
Who was he?
CM Punk. It was CM Punk.
I mean, we still got this strange Punk Heyman thing going on. Like what was it? Was it Heyman that owes a favor or Punk owes a favor? I can't remember which.
So what happened was that Punk agreed to help out Roman in the War Games, Survivor Series War Games match as a favor to Heyman, and in return he would request a favor from Heyman.
Owes a favor now.
So we got some favors that are needed to be owed. We haven't seen Heyman in a while. Roman is, God only knows he's happy, but he's not there all of a sudden. We have whatchamaface in the other one, Lord Jesus' name, CM Punk hugging John Cena when he was the good guy. All of a sudden, that was weird. That was suspicious. That was completely out of character for some strange reason. Why was John Cena so huggy? And it was interesting that only until Rock did this did Cena turn. So the owner of the soul, maybe he's fighting for his soul and he's trying to he could get redemption.
I want Cena heel all the way through. I honestly do. I'd love for him to finish as heel Cena because realistically, it's not like we're still going to hate him in the end afterwards. Like we're still going to love him even more. Like once he's retired and done. Like I want him to. Right. I really want him to showcase what he can do as a heel and last the entire time until eventually he loses the belt.
So you don't think he's going to be redeemed? You don't think he's going to fall back to the good guy persona?
Nah.
Ric Flair's going to come down there at that ring.
He'll go back to good guy when he's retired and he's promoting his movies again.
Maybe Ric Flair's the other man. You will not defeat my record.
Maybe we'll get the third actor and get Batista.
Have you seen Batista lately?
I mean, Batista has said he's done. Yeah, granted, he has said he's done. He doesn't want to, he said that the way his match with Triple H was like the way he wanted to go out and he's done it and he's over with. But I mean, if a storyline is really good, could you pass that up? Like,
have you seen him physically?
Yeah, he's still ripped.
He looks awful.
No, are you kidding me? I don't know what you're looking at. He's
awful.
lost a hell of a lot of weight. He's not on those
Muscle.
steroids anymore. He has not lost muscle. He's lost weight because he's not on the same regimen he used to when he used to be like big ass Batista. There was one picture I saw of him. Dude looks like Hugh Jackman from Deadpool and Wolverine. He was ripped. Like ripped, crazy ripped. Like he is still in shape. He
looks like grandpa.
He is so he's so in immense shape. He's on a different diet. He does different workouts. He says he hated his big bulky self. He didn't like the way he felt. So he's not doing that anymore. But he's still in shape.
All right, yeah, you say so.
I'll send you the picture. Send me the picture.
You say Batista. Does anyone have any clue on whether or not there's going to be another person involved in this?
I don't think
situationship.
I don't think.
You don't think anyone?
If anything, like, I think it's an interesting theory as far as like what he did at Bad Blood and all that, but I don't think Cena was the plan at the time. I think it's a coincidence.
Really?
I think it was a coincidence. Yeah.
Cool. Literal numbers, number 3, and we all know
Yeah, I mean the.
It could go either way. I don't know. I don't know what 2.
Him doing that with the 2, I don't know what that means, but he definitely did.
Because I always thought that it was like a collection of souls, because he technically has Cody's soul, which is the boat. The second soul is John Cena. And 3, maybe it could be a 3 soul, maybe it's another soul. No, all right.
Everyone's just looking too much into it.
Yeah, too much into it. Too much. It's fun to speculate on these things, but it might. I mean, sometimes we as fans look further into it than they do. As far as can Cena be redeemed, absolutely, and I think he will.
All right, you think?
Like you mentioned Batista, and as an interesting thing because he retired as a heel, even though people came around to him being a face because of his work in Hollywood, particularly with Guardians of the Galaxy and all that. I think that endeared him to a lot of people. But with Cena, he'll have this heel run, he'll lose, he'll win the belt at Mania, drop the belt later at SummerSlam or something like that, and then he'll be retired as a face, losing to a heel, possibly Gunther or something like that. Maybe Punk does it. Maybe it's Randy Orton. There's a lot of options as far as who's going to be the one to retire him. But I think he'll retire as a face. I think that the fans will be quick to forgive him, and that'll be it.
I still think it's Punk. Punk did an interview that was really weird, and it was like sometimes your thing's bigger than you. And I think that he is going to somehow be a part of the much bigger picture. But we will see. Ricky?
Yeah, I still think we have more of a chance of it being Punk than like Batista or somebody like that.
Negron?
I mean, what if it's someone like Braun Breaker? What way to put over Breaker, being the one to retire the legend? They can do something better than what they did when they had Baron Corbin retire Kurt Angle. I thought that was terrible. It should have been Gable. It should have been Gable. But,
oh my God.
Or maybe
if Vince was still around, it probably would be Chad.
Like AJ Styles would have been a good option. They had history together at TNA and everything. But yeah, it's gonna be I'm gonna be fascinated to see this WrestleMania run. If Cena wins the belt, how that heel run's gonna go, and then who he picks to be the one that puts him down for good. I'm gonna be very interested in that. It's gonna be a fun year.
It's gonna be fun. I look forward to it. And then, for the record, for people who did not know, Travis Scott was Dennis Rodman.
That's who he was. His place. That's how he is. Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
he was the Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
And we will
Well,
be seeing more of him. Triple H said that he is in the ring.
oh God.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
so
Dennis Rodman was in the ring.
I saw Cena's frustration with Travis Scott in that ring, because when Cena was holding Cody down, Travis was messing around with him, and was just like, dude, just hold the guy down, because The Rock's about to start
Yeah.
whipping him. But he starts picking him up, and Cena's
Who
just
picked him
like,
up?
no, put him down. Clearly, The Rock is about to do something. So it's like, Travis, like, put down the freaking pot and just do what you're supposed to do.
So dumb. I don't like it. We miss Bad Bunny. Hopefully, we'll get Bad Bunny again. The year is young. So, are there any final thoughts on this pay per view in general? Heel Cena, your childhood dream, just dying.
I would say probably the most memorable Elimination Chamber of my lifetime, as far as start to finish. And I say that as someone that missed some of it, but I thought it was very memorable. It had big moments, and everyone's gonna remember where they were when Cena turned heel. Like for me, like greatest Elimination Chamber ever, and that's maybe there's recency bias to that, but that's just my opinion on that.
I would probably disagree, honestly, and like excluding the Cena stuff, excluding what happened with Cody and Cena. If you were just to look at the matches from beginning to end, all of it together as a whole, I think it was okay. I think the matches were good. I don't think this was like a 5-star PLE, but it was okay. Like I don't have really that much to complain about. But what sent it over the top, what made it memorable, was that ending, was that moment that I will remember for the rest of my life now. And I will always bring it up whenever we talk about like former wrestlers, or like when Cena's retired in the future, or like if I ever have kids or something like that, and my kids are looking at Cena in a Hollywood movie, and I'm just like, that guy right there, I got memories with him as a wrestler. And I'll definitely mention that Elimination Chamber match.
One thing I was
Yep.
going to add is that this was, I believe, the first and only Elimination Chamber that took place in a stadium. So you had it there at the Sky Dome. Big, they call it the Rogers Center now, but it's always going to be the Sky Dome to me. And that's where they've had 2 WrestleManias. That's a big, big, big place to have this otherwise low, PLE that normally is just kind of a throwaway. I think that's part of what made it feel bigger.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with both of you. I think that the pay per view overall, minus kind of the Jade Cargill situation and the John Cena situation, it was good. It wasn't like great. I think that the Sami Zayn match and the Tiffany Stratton match were just okay. It existed, but it would bring down the overall score for me to make it like, it was okay. It was a good pay per view, but it wasn't great. But when we add everything in together, this was phenomenal. Obviously, when it comes to John Cena situation, this is a moment in history. 21 years again. This is amazing. And just kind of like as a side note, for anyone who has ever watched Total Divas, you already know that John Cena was the heel of the show.
At least the heel in the relationship.
Nikki knew.
Yes, the heel in the relationship. I was on there. This is the 2017 Total Divas. This man was a menace in terms of character. He was a menace. There were always signs that this man was heel. So we feel vindicated. As anyone who watched Total Divas had part of it, yes.
Sorry, I have a question for the both of you guys, because we had an old interview back then that Cena was almost close to being a heel before, and they had last minute they had changed everything, and it didn't work out that way. Cena said that he had new wardrobe ready, he had a new intro ready. What are your guys' predictions of what that might be? Because I'm thinking to myself, instead of him wearing jorts, he's wearing full-on jeans.
I could see that. There's been kind of this trend in recent years where, like in the past, it was a thing where wrestlers came out in full long tights, But once they got up to the main event scene, they cut it down to shorts. Like Triple H did the same thing when he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, full pants. Then he turns heel, turns against DX, joins Corporation, gets roided up, and now main event shorts. But lately, you've been seeing more of it going the other way, where now the when they're going into the main event, they're wearing full long pants. So it could be a thing of Cena now wearing long pants.
Interesting. Maybe a new rap song. He comes up with a new rap song. Data. Sorry.
He said that he has his song is "Fear My Name."
He has a new song.
He has a new song. He said that how the John Cena with the it's instead I think it's with saxophone or like drums. It's a whole thing, and he recorded it, and so he's gonna re-record it, and I think he might start dressing like The Rock.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Like with windbreakers and stuff.
Probably, I don't know, but we're definitely getting long pants. It's gonna be insane.
I can't wait,
and I look forward to it. And it was supposed to happen, as you guys said a while ago. So he has this ready, and this is his dream. Let him live his dream, and new music, new wardrobe, new everything. I look forward to it. Oh my gosh, what happens to You Can't See Me? Are we still getting You Can't See Me?
I have it on my caption. I finally see him. We're gonna finally see him.
Yep, I finally see him. You says why, Cena, why? So
he's gonna say you can see me, or you should see me, as like he's supposed to be arrogant. Like you should see me.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be insane. So I don't know if he comes on Monday. I think they said he's gonna be in Budapest. So I don't know if he comes on Monday. But it's going to be very interesting. Man. I don't know. He could. Planes work somewhat. I don't know how strong the planes are. But yeah, planes somewhat work. So we'll see him. But yeah, for me, overall, excellent. Any final thoughts and words and things?
I don't know if you saw that on his Instagram, he put a picture of GTA 6. That's kind of a reference of we got
heel Cena before GTA 6.
I thought that was excellent. Yeah.
That was superb. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it was. Well, I'll call it hyperbole to call this Elimination Chamber the best one. There's so many of them historically, and I'm sure that there were other cards that had more entertaining matches and what have you. I still say this is the most memorable one because of what happened. But yeah, it has me officially excited for WrestleMania. That's something that I wasn't totally sure about the days leading up.
That's what Triple H told me. That's what he said in the pay-per-view. Are you excited now?
He also said, now does it feel like we're on the road to WrestleMania?
It feels real now. Yeah. Now that
and then also, please
No, I'm saying now that we have what's going to happen on the card, because that was the thing, is that a lot of it was still left open as what these matches were going to look like, how we're going to get to that point. And sometimes it was like we suspected stuff like Cody versus Cena going to happen, but how is that going to look? And then it looks different than what a lot of us expected. Yeah. Rhea versus Bianca, we thought that was a possibility, but we didn't know how it was going to play out, and we still don't know how that's going to play out. Like there's more intrigue now than there was 24 hours ago.
That is true. I completely agree. And just as a side note, please stop doing press conferences. I know y'all want that Emmy, but I don't need to know right away how everything came together. Do it at the end of the year. Release a DVD, a special, but just stop. It's heartbreaking. So yeah. So I guess that's it. That's everything. And we will see you later. WrestleMania is 6 weeks away, which is insane.
Oh.